Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to all of you joining us today. My name is Gabriela Rocha, and I am part of the marketing team here at INFACT. We're excited to have you here for the free introduction to the International School for Food Addiction Counseling and Treatment event, where we'll explore the world of food addiction counseling and the opportunities it holds for you. We have an incredible session planned for you, filled with valuable insights and information. Now, I'd like to introduce you to a true expert in the field of food addiction counseling. Please welcome Esther Helga, the passionate founder and director of INFACT. Esther Helga will guide us through the session, taking us through the syllabus, sharing insights into the course material, and addressing any questions you may have. So, without further ado, let's get started with this incredible journey into the world of food addiction counseling, led by none other than Esther Helga. Welcome, Esther.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm excited to have you here, and we're recording this, so those that won't be able to come or join later will be able to catch up with the recording. We had actually 51 people registered to come tonight, and I was really thrilled to so many people were interested in coming and going through the material here. So as Gabi was saying, we're going to go through a lot of material here tonight. I'm going to take you through basically why we formed the INFACT School, where that comes from, who the pioneers in treatment for food addiction. We'll talk about the teachers of the school, and we'll talk about the material, the Moodle side, and what it is that people can expect to have learned as they have gone through the school, and some more. Please feel free to ask questions as we go, and I will either just answer it right away, or I will say, well, I'm coming to it in a moment, please be patient. So it will be either or. And also I want to say, I always say my English is my second language, and I sometimes forget words both in Icelandic and English. Let's hope not a lot of that happens for me tonight, but it is late in the evening, and I'm usually up to my bed at this time, I'm telling you, here in Iceland. But I'm excited to be here, so that should hold me awake. We have, you may have noticed that we've started sending out podcasts. The podcast, Food Addiction, the Problem and the Solution. And we have here Susan Branscombe, who kind of started this adventure with me, and graciously is hosting these. And I was just, before we go, I just wanted to ask her to say a few words about the podcasts, and so that to introduce, and if you haven't been able to hear them, so that you can go and know where to go. Susan Branscombe.
Great. Thank you, Esther Helga. I'm Susan Branscombe, and Esther Helga and I work together on the Food Addiction Institute board. Esther Helga chairs the Food Addiction Institute, foodaddictioninstitute.org. And she knew that I hosted another podcast and said, I've always wanted to do one for the INFACT School. And so it began, food addiction. It's called Food Addiction, the Problem and the Solution. We host recovered food addicts and talk about what it was like for them and how they recovered. And we host professionals studying the disease of food addiction, the brain chemistry, and the science. So far, we've interviewed 12 people, and we've released 5 episodes so far. There's a lot of wonderful information in here about the problem of food addiction, the science, a lot of what's misunderstood. I am a recovered food addict and come from personal experience, and I'm very passionate about the subject. So I'm honored and privileged to be doing this project with Esther. So I host the guests. You can find it on all the podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, all of them. It's on the website. the INFACT School, infactschool.com. We hope you follow the social media for INFACT School, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Those are posted there. So we hope you listen. And thanks, Esther, for the chance to promote it. It's a great venture. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Susan. And if you guys want to check it out, we just added the link to the podcast and the website on the chat, so you can feel free to check it out. I think you are muted, Esther.
I am muted.
There you go.
So thank you, Susan. I so appreciate you and your phenomenal background work that you're willing to do for this. And what I also felt that was needed is the stories of recovery. So we are doing a lot of those, as Susan said, and so that people can listen to people that have seriously recovered from this disease, and know and get the hope that is possible. So, okay, thank you, Susan. So you may see Cindy Solomon's name here. I just want to say, I don't know if we'll see her face tonight, but Cindy Solomon has been working with us, the marketing team here. She is the web person, and has done a miracle with the INFACT School web, and and is such an asset. She helps me with the WooCommerce, the payment, everything, and there's all kinds of stuff that I would never be able to learn how to do, for sure. I just wanted to mention that those of you that stay for the 2 hours and want to register by tomorrow will get an extra 5% off of the price, and you just need to know that we will put in the chat the code for the extra if somebody wants to use the opportunity here. I also want to say that we're extending. Yeah, Cynthia is saying thank you. I like to be behind the scenes to promote what I want to see in the world. Thank you. Yeah, so we're extending the 20% off till the 10th of July. And if you need any support or more information on payments, if you decide to jump in and really do this, also just talk to me, send an email to us, and we'll set up a Zoom or whatever. Okay, so we have here as well. I'm trying to get a lot of things out of the way before I kind of start jumping in. And here is Olabumi. It took me a while to learn to say her name.
Hi, Esther. How are you?
Great to see you, Bumi. Bumi is another alumni of the INFACT School, and she was kind enough to be here and just talk a little bit about her experiences doing the INFACT training, and maybe also what has happened afterwards, for her. So you go, Olabumi, or Bumi as I
For me. Yeah, thanks very much, Esther, for inviting me on. And it was when I saw the message that you're having this kind of open evening, I was like, yes, we need more food addiction counselors. Honestly, it is so exciting. It's such an exciting field. I'm a recovering food addict and alcoholic as well. So I'm kind of 15 years sober and 14 years with food, and just to come from not anybody knowing what food addiction was about 15 years ago, I knew it was an addiction in my heart, but everyone's going, no, it's not. And you know, it's something I kind of realized I was struggling with and I needed the help, but I kind of wasn't getting it. And so many other people today are struggling and don't know what it is. And as soon as you kind of explain to them, it's like the scales fall from their eyes. And it's the next thing is, what do I do? How can I help myself? What support do I need? And it's growing, and I'm just feeling it now that, you know, people are realizing that they need that help, and it's just huge. For me, INFACT was my turning point. I'd, you know, studied a lot in food addiction because of my own personal journey and helped a few people the way I could. But it just turned it around. In fact, it was so in depth. It was exciting. As I said, I was on the edge of my seat I could not wait each weekend. Friday, I was there. The only time I think I didn't attend was when I had to kind of go on a big holiday. But for me, it was every single weekend. There was so much great information, revelations, aha moments, the interaction, the networking with you know, my fellow peers was brilliant. You know, we had a joint WhatsApp group so we could discuss all the things that were presented. You know, and being able to, you know, have a wonderful woman, Esther, who's, you know, very humble, you could approach her. You know, I was very teachable, but Esther was also very, very much, it was a two-way thing. And that is how I kind of really felt nourished and excited about this growing field. And look where it's going now. It's just on the edge of just going, right, we're going to be recognized. I know it. And to be able to help my community, I've since then, yeah, so going through the diploma was absolutely amazing. As I said, the knowledge was great, and the experts that came on, you know, just great, going on to read their further information and presentations, and really getting the knowledge and really understanding what this is about, really understanding the science of it, the neuroscience of it, and being able to put that in terms that people understood, the general public understood. That to me was precious. And to be able to have the techniques, but the understanding and the compassion. And that's what I felt with Esther, was there's a lot of compassion and kindness in this. It's not just a field, it's a field that we've all experienced, and, you know, we want to help others. And since then, I've gone on to really help teach in my own little way, sort of health and fitness professionals in a very kind of, I call it kind of the paramedic kind of version, so that they can help the people that they can in the community in a little way that they can. It's not counseling, it's, you know, being able to support and coach and direct and signpost. And many have found that very, very helpful in their own careers, whether they're teachers or, you know, they're sports and fitness professionals. So I've gone on to do some trainings as well, but, you know, within my own community, you know, I've been able to go out there and talk about this and raise awareness and get some aha moments and help people that need it. I'm also looking to get a grant, Esther, in my local area, because where I've moved to is my home city, Leeds. It's not good. It's not good. No. And it's, yeah, let me get a grant from the local council. And again, this is what I want to talk to you about. And the Food Addiction Institute, Esther, is one I'm going to set up a little teaching centre here. You know, so that maybe teachers can come, social workers can come, so they can help their clients. So that's really what I'm very passionate about. It's a very low socioeconomic group in some of the areas that I work in, and, you know, they need as much help as possible. They really do. So yeah, thank you. But it's a fantastic course. Absolutely loved every minute of it, and it's just reaping the benefits now. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Bhumi. It was so lovely to have you, and been following up on your work, and everywhere you go, you just have such charisma and
Oh,
to you. So I'm so proud to have you as one of the alumni of INFACT.
thank you. Oh, I was going to tell you just one more thing, Esther. I
Yeah.
was featured in Recovery Today magazine.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and it's the biggest addiction magazine in the world, and they didn't have anything about food addiction, nothing.
Wow.
And they said they wanted me on, so I went on, they did a video, they featured me, and now they want me to be their correspondent.
That's super exciting.
I
Wow,
mean, oh my goodness, yeah, it's
that's
amazing.
incredible.
So we're going to get food addiction out there. But yeah, again, not very well known within the addiction community per se, which is, for now, I just think that is just amazing that it's not, hit the tabloids even in a big way in the recovery world.
That's true.
Mm.
We actually got a question that perhaps both of you could help answer. It says, as a compulsive overeater and food addict and a member of Overeaters Anonymous, how could I make this as my profession if I'm also sponsoring people for free in OA? How can I make this a profession while I suffered from this disease myself?
Okay, so this is one of the things that we learn in the training. So there is of course, there is 12-step programs and support there. In the 12-step programs, we share our strength, hope, and we tell our stories, we share our recovery. That's what we do there. We're not professionals there. We can really help, and we do within the 12-step programs. But when we have gone through something like the INFACT training, you have gotten a training in working with people more as a professional, which is a much wider range of how you can help people. So that's one of the things that we talk about quite a bit, actually, in the training, how we distinguish between the two. But there is a real distinction between the 12-step programs and how we work there, and how we help our fellows and are there for each other in the fellowship and in promoting the 12 steps of the big book or any of the books of whichever fellowships we're talking about. Bhumi, you want to add anything on to this?
No, I completely agree, Esther. There is a big distinction. When you come into the training, you'll understand why. And this is a profession. For me, it's becoming a full-time, it's a full-time career. So it is a career, it's a profession, it's a love, and it's a passion. And yeah, in order to survive, we have to charge for our services.
Thank you, Bhumi.
Thank you, Bhumi.
I hope that answers the question of I forgot to get the name of the person.
It was an anonymous question.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Well, thank you for the question. Thank you, Bhumi, sincerely.
Thank you, Bhumi, for everything.
And
You're welcome. I'm going to have to jump off now anyway, but thank you very
Perfect.
much for having me on.
for coming.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, so again, before we jump into the INFACT School, I just wanted to tell you that I was as the chair of the Food Addiction Institute, went to the American Psychiatric Association conference in San Francisco last month. And there we were supporting Dr. Ashley Gerhardt, who is spearheading an application for the DSM for food addiction as a new substance use disorder. And she had with her like an amazing group of people, the most famous scientists in addiction science, like Nora Volkoff and George Koop and Jean Wang. And they presented this, and we had like we filled the hall. It was like about 300 participants, psychiatrists in the hall. And with the questions that they asked the audience, like 100%, basically.
That's incredible.
Thought that food addiction was an addiction, and that it should be included in the DSM. 75 for this plainly put in the DSM, the 25% into the research category. So I don't think we've ever been so close to getting acceptance, and that is what needs to happen. So I just want to ask you, please, to go to, well, we send it out in the newsletter, me and Gabi, that you can submit to supporting this. And Cindy is putting it on the chat here, or go to foodaddictioninstitute.org and submit to supporting this application. And it is both for professionals to do, as well as recovering or just food addicts or anybody supporting this application. So exciting times. I did not seriously think I'd live to see this happening, but
and what an exciting time to be part of this profession and to be at the forefront of everything that's going on, and how it feels great to actually be validated by an organization such as the APA. We all know that this is a real condition, and most of us have struggled from it, but it's about time that we get the recognition that this condition deserves.
Absolutely, Gabi. Well said. Okay. Did you want to say anything about your participation, Gabi?
Well, yes, I actually am also an INFACT graduate, and while I heard Bunmi speaking, I resonated with so many of the things that she said. I myself also struggled with food addiction, and for the longest time, I thought that I had no self-control, that it was an issue that it was in my hands, and that I just was lazy or I wasn't strong enough. But ultimately, I knew that there was something more. And when I did some research and I learned that this was an actual condition that a lot of people were struggling with, it felt so good. And finding INFACT and learning that there's an actual thing that's happening in our brain, all the biochemistry behind it, the amount of people that have been affected, it just felt great. And ultimately, not only that, but studying at INFACT, the first and the only school that's accredited for food addiction counseling and treatment, there's no other place where you can get the information and the tools and the skills that you need if you ultimately want to help other people in your community. So I was very, very grateful for that. As Bunmi said as well, I so appreciated the relationship I had with you, Esther. You are so open and so knowledgeable and so kind. And it was so exciting to come to class every day. And not only you, but all the other faculty members that are part of the school, they are, again, at the forefront. They are doing all that has to happen so that we get recognized, and they have so much knowledge that it's so exciting to get it firsthand. So I couldn't recommend it more. And if you guys can join, I invite you to do so, because you won't regret it.
Thank you, Gabi.
No problem, Esther.
Get a little shy with all of this praise here. Thank you. Okay, so let's jump into it. I'm going to share screen here and put my PowerPoints up. And let me see, I need to move this out of the way and do so. So do you see it as just one? Because I had to.
No, we see a big slide and then the next slide on the side.
Okay, so I need to I need to. So how do I get, oh, okay, so on my big screen, I have the whole thing, and why don't I get down to here? Technical issues. I don't get down to my computer with my arrow. Let me see.
Esther, while you're figuring that out, we got a different question. It says, I'd like to know if you are not able to come live to the classes on Fridays and Saturdays, are they recorded?
Yes, they are recorded. So now do you have it?
Yes, we got it.
Okay. Yeah, we record all sessions all the time. And so there's some of the sessions will be kind of mandatory as we go into the treatment protocol. But for a lot of the other, if you miss, you will be able to catch up with recordings for sure. Okay, so here we have it, building on the past, preparing for the future. Okay, I wasn't going to go so fast. This is an introduction. And I just want to give you the knowledge that we have been doing treatment for food addiction for about 40 years. Many of the pioneers have been there for up to or over 40 years in this work. So this is not something new. It has been done, but the thing is, people will, for the most part, have had to pay from their own pocket for treatment. And so it's not a lot of crazy people like me and Phil and others that just have been going into the field because it's not been an easy field to go into, but very rewarding, very rewarding. So just wanted you to know that this is something that we can build on. This is why I say building on the past, because there's a lot of experience and knowledge in those 40 years. And the INFACT School has really gathered a lot of this information to teach so that we can have this as a platform to grow as a profession and do better as we go forward. So here is, oh, my little dog is coughing a little bit. I'm sorry about that. So yeah, this is about me. I am the founder and director of INFACT. We set it on and or off at 2017, an international school for food addiction counseling and treatment. Now, I am also the chair of the Food Addiction Institute, and I really want to urge you to go there. We're starting to offer at this point or soon membership abilities there and building a community for professionals in the field with a lot of resources being put on there and other. And so please go to the foodaddictioninstitute.org for more information. Now, my beginning was a founder and director of the MFM Center of Education and Treatment for Food Addiction in Iceland. Little did I know that when I started my little thing here in Iceland, it was the first and only outpatient treatment for food addiction in the world. And it's like 17 years ago. And so I was lucky to have, and I was actually, my story is that I, of course, was a really seriously late stage food addict and had really suffered from the disease and found a solution. I found a solution within the 12-step programs. There was no treatment ever or anywhere that I could find. And nobody told me, but I was told in the 12-step program that I went in and I got real recovery there. Once I got recovery, I decided that I wanted to do something about this. I really felt it in my heart and my bones that I wanted to do whatever I could to change this so that people would not have to suffer the way that I and so many other people in the world need to suffer, just because we don't even know what's wrong with us. So I did study addiction counseling, and I got myself a diploma in addiction counseling. When I did that, I realized that this would be something we'd need to develop for food addiction professionals and because I did learn about all kinds of different addictions. And fortunately, my teacher there, the main teacher, he was very open to food addiction and has always been. And so I was lucky in that way, but all over, people talk about eating disorders as a behavioral addiction. And what we've been fighting for is food to be a substance use disorder. It's a substance that triggers the brain in the same way alcohol and drugs do. But also we have behavioral addictions around it. We have the eating disorders that kind of can make it more complicated issue to work with, for sure. So I formed the Icelandic Center. I will talk a little later about treatment, about research that we've done on and it has had excellent what's the word for it? When I can't remember the word. I'll get it when I go there. Okay, so let's go forward here. So what we're going to talk about tonight is the history. That's kind of just a short history. Who are the pioneers? I'm going to talk about the teachers, food addiction as a substance use disorder, the syllabus, the manual, and the project, the certification, and if we get to it, some major development in the field and treatment outcomes. So if we dive into, let me see here. So where is the INFACT school really coming from? And I can seriously say it's coming from me doing the addiction counseling and then meeting with Acorn, Phil Verdell and Mary Fushi, who at the time when I was starting off had started an experimental training program for professionals. And it was the 3-year training that I entered, and we learned by doing. And I can't say how lucky I feel to have gotten to study from Phil, who is kind of, in my heart, the father of food addiction treatment and recovery at this point. He is older now, and but his life's work has really been to promote this disease, and specifically to promote treatment. And he's one of the most skilled treatment facilitators that I have met. So I got those two together, and then I actually was invited to join the Food Addiction Institute as well. At the Food Addiction Institute, which was founded in 2005, it was just before I came into all of this, which was in 2006. We gathered people, professionals from around the world. There were Marty Lerner, Teresa Wright, Joan Ifland, Bitten Jonsson, me, Phil, Verdell, Mary, and a few others I will mention a little later. And I started talking about both with Phil and with the people in the Food Addiction Institute that we needed to form a school for professionals that would be kind of, either working alongside with the Acorn, or just, to kind of take it over and go forward with training and studies. And so that's kind of what happened, was that I got all of these people with me, and I just decided, okay, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna form this school. I got the material for the most part from the addiction counselor school, which was had material based on ASAM and NIDA, which is the American Society of Addiction Medicine, and NIDA is National Institute of Drug Addiction. So the material that we work from is guidelines from the most authoritative organizations in the world on treatment for addiction. And then we worked food addiction into that. And so we started, I think, with 9 professionals and pioneers. And then we're up to, I think, 12 people today that are teaching at the school. And I foresee to see a lot of the alumni people that have started doing excellent work will be joining INFACT, hopefully, as well as teachers. So we started the INFACT International School for Food Addiction Counseling and Treatment in 2017, a 7-month online virtual training. So let's see. It's off here. Yeah, so in the 2017, 9 experts. We gathered people that were experts in treatment, in eating disorders and metabolic sciences, and formed the first training certified by the European Certification Board as a food addiction professional. I will talk a little more about the European Certification Board, but I want to say that that board really made this happen. They went over all the material. We set it up in a way that other addiction professionals would have to study and learn in order to get certification as addiction professionals and counselors. So we got professional people to really go over the material with us, and I will say we probably preceded a lot of what they do, but there's a lot more information than maybe in a regular addiction counseling diploma learning. So we owe them a great deal of gratitude for standing up. They were really the first to decide to have people graduate as food addiction professionals and give certification for that. So a new profession was born. And we have, as of last winter, we have 110 students, which is amazing to me. So steady growth in the people coming into the profession. And people are really beginning to use the material and advance it and get known as, as a food addiction professional around the world. I think we have people from like 19 countries. So that's also very, very fun, and was a bit challenging to find times to work with people in all of those different time zones. But I think we kind of found a way with that. So a couple of years back, we got the U.S. National Addiction Professional Certification Board on board with us, and students from INFACT can apply for an add-on certificate for you if you're already licensed in the health or social sectors. So we have the European certificate. If you pass all the requirements, you automatically get that as you graduate. For the US one, you need to apply for that yourself with all the requirements that they make for that. But again, a really good acknowledgement for the school. So the school supports abstinence-based treatment models, and we support addiction treatment methods for food as a substance use disorder. And these two are very, very important, because this is the basic of addiction treatment. We are coming from food and eating being our own problem. That's what the food distributors want us to believe. That is not true. We know that at this point. And so we are standing up for this being an addiction. And it's not just Esther Helga here and a few other guys saying that. We have gathered, the Food Addiction Institute, about 2,000 peer-reviewed research articles and researches that support food addiction as a substance use disorder. Dr. Ashley Gerhardt, who is doing the sending in the application on everybody's behalf, she has like more than 400 research built on her Yale scale, which is the first and only assessment for food addiction, where it really, where all of them showing that at least 20% of everybody that take that assessment or do that assessment are food addicted. So that's pretty strong medicine here, and let's hope it's enough for these guys. So who are the pioneers? I just want to go real quickly through this. I think it's always fun to have the history there. Glen Bay Hospital. That's what I heard about when I started working with Phil and Mary. Phil had worked there as when he was in his early recovery and beginning to work as such. The Glen Bay Hospital was a psychiatric hospital that held out addiction treatments. There was a month-long treatment, and they set up treatment for food addiction. This was like probably about 30, 40 years ago. And it was paid for by the insurance at that point. Then somebody complained, the scientist complained that there was not sufficient data for it to be an addiction, and they stopped, and the rest is history. The death rate of food addiction and disease related or the diseases that people get because of it is like, I don't know how much it has escalated since that time. And the sad thing is that people that were there, I'm still meeting people telling me that they began their abstinence and their recovery at the Glen Bay Hospital. It's just amazing. inpatient treatment is really something that we do need. Now, Turning Point in Tampa was something similar. Glen Bay Hospital stopped. They went bankrupt, so they're not there anymore. The Turning Point is there. They have holdout treatment for eating disorders and food addiction. So, and then of course, Mary and Phil formed Acorn Intensives, and which now is called Shift Recovery. And they hold out virtual treatment with long and strong aftercare programs, as well as inpatient, week-long inpatient treatments, both in Florida area and Vancouver area. Now, as I said before, Phil has written a lot of books. You will get access, those that come into the training will get access to a lot of those books, or some of them. He's been gracious enough to let me give drafts of it to students. So Kay Shepard is one who was a very interesting and fun person. I remember when I was starting off, trying to find out whatever I could about food addiction in the olden days, I called her number and I got her on the phone, and she said, so I got Kay Shepard, and she was like such a hero to me. She had written 2 books, great books about food addiction. And I got to know her as well. And I didn't study with her, but except for our personal, we had a really good relationship. I could really rely on her as well. And she had actually set up some programs for food addiction recovery, and was very active in 12-step work as well. Now, Marty Lerner is one of the teachers at the INFACT school, and I'm so happy to have Marty. He's like the most incredible teacher and lecturer. He has, is the CEO, and he's a doctor of psychology and a CEO of Milestone in Recovery, which is eating disorders and food addiction recovery center. They have inpatient and outpatient, and somewhat virtual, I'm sure, at this point. So Teresa Wright is a dietitian. She's like the first dietitian in the world. She started working with food addiction about 40 years ago, and is still doing it. She's older, but oh my God, when you sit her in front of the microphone and she starts talking, it's just amazing. She has some books out on nutrition and for dietitians and for food plans that we suggest that people get for the course, for sure. Now, Bitten Jonsson, I also called her at the time. And the fun thing was that, you know, they just picked up the phone. Actually, when I called Robert Lustig, I don't know how many years ago, he had a phone number on his site or in the University of San Francisco, and called him. He said, you know what? I never answered this phone, but now I did. So that's how I got to know him. And Bitten Jonsson, we got to do a lot of good work together, and I really appreciate her work. She started teaching about metabolic syndrome and combining that with food addiction, how you can help food addiction with that. And also she has developed the sugar assessments, and I'm hoping that they get that validated sooner than later. Then we have Shades of Hope in Texas, which is an inpatient treatment. And I don't know, Dennis was her name. Can't quite remember her last name, but I met with her at one point as well. This is more like eating disorder oriented treatment, but still they had and have also the base is also food addiction. They got really famous at one point because Oprah's niece or uncle or something went into treatment there, and Oprah did some TV programs from the treatment of theirs. And Catherine is written a lot of books, a psychologist, about food addiction, one of the pioneers. Joan Ifland written a really incredible work, Refined Food Addiction. It's a really big book on the science of ultra-processed foods or refined foods. And then, of course, Esther Helga in Iceland, the little island on top of the world, doing all kinds of things around the world for years now. Okay. So addiction treatment for food as a substance use disorder, if we had to address the biochemical aspect of the disease, to help the person abstain from their binge foods. We address the psychological aspect of the disease, and we educate about the problem of loss of control. And we help people understand what is needed in order to stay abstinence early and forward, maintenance in recovery. And support has shown to be a major thing for people with addiction, to have a community. And then we need to help people understand that as we get addicted, our personality changes. Our personality changes as we get addicted. We stop dealing with emotions the way that we don't learn to deal with emotions as we go. And quite a few people get addicted or have become addicted as children. So they remain and have emotional issues, that they don't know how to deal with except with eating and or using other drugs and substances. So those are issues that we're working on and addressing and helping our students to understand and to learn ways to deal with. So we divide the training into different sections. We have, of course, our stars, lectures and specific teachings from the experts. And I'll go over who they are. Then we have the counselor workbook, which is the clinical part with the final examination. That is an open book examination early December to be finalized. We have, I will show you more and better in the book when I go into the manual. It's the 12 criteria, in fact, criteria for food addiction treatment and more. Screening, intake, orientation, assessment, treatment planning, different counseling techniques, case management, crisis intervention, patient education, referrals, reports and record keeping, consultation, professional growth, relapse prevention, codependency in the family, and of course, ethics. Ethics is a big thing for food addiction professionals to honor. So this winter we've had, I've always gone through the outpatient treatment model that I've used and developed through the years. And of course, people from Acorn and Shift would usually introduce their treatment. Marty introduces his treatment from Milestone, and we're going to have Susan Pierce Thompson come in and introduce Bright Line Eating and her things. And so we have introductions to different kind of treatment. But this winter, I'm going to add treatment 1 and treatment 2, which are like they go alongside with the work on the counselor workbook, as well as the lectures coming in. I'll show you that on the syllabus in a moment. And but that the treatment 1 and 2 are treatment courses, and you are required to participate and learn by doing. So that means everybody that comes in needs to have been screened and assessed for food addiction or not. And some of the students are not food addicts, and that's okay. We'll work around that for sure. And so you get the program, and we work through the program with support as we go. I think it's 7 4-hour sessions for each of the treatment courses. The first one is before Christmas, and then the second one starts right in January. And that one is more for the maintenance and the personality change work. We're working more on what do we need to do in order to keep our abstinence and keep becoming recovered or staying recovered. And then we have the 12-step therapeutic approach for professionals. And I think Guttorm is here in the audience. Thank you for being here, Guttorm. Dr. Guttorm Tauverud, we met a few years back and shared a passion for the 12-step therapeutic approach for treatment. And we've been working together. Of course, I've been just kicking his ass to do things. I'm sorry, Guttorm. And we have, or Guttorm has actually recorded like between 40 and 50 hours of his learning program, where he seriously goes through the 12 steps in the big book and explains what that really is, what is really there, and how can we help our clients going into that material therapeutically. So that is that is one part of what you get in the INFACT training, is that you get those recordings, and we'll have Guttorm come in and discuss those with you in the winter as well. Okay. So I'm going to show you the Moodle site or platform. This is where we place everything concerning the INFACT school material. It houses the manual assignments, and session recordings. Recordings and material for each lecturer or teacher, and a platform for student communication. So I need to stop this here, and I need to go to, where do I need to go to? Here. And share again. Hope you see, yeah, you should see it now.
We see it.
Thank you. Okay, so you, those of you who come and join us, you will get access. You get your own specific access to this site, which is going to be you will get. We will send to you once it is ready. It's not quite ready for the fall. I'll be working on it this summer, but in August, or at least, yeah, or actually in early September, we're gonna it's gonna be ready for the winter. So here is the INFACT school manual. There we have all participants in the course, and we have recordings, and here we have all the different the chapters of the manual. And we go, and here's a calendar. You can go and have private files and all kinds of things that I don't even know very well to do. So I'm going to do site home, and it's, let me do open up again.
Esther, we just received a question.
Yeah.
Brenda wants to know, can you explain the pricing? Because when I look at the website, there is one price for the course, then prices for treatment 1 and 2, an option for payment plan. So what is the total price if we do a payment plan?
Oh, so what is included in the training is the manual and the core functions and treatment 1 and 2, plus the recordings of professionals applying the Big Book. That's all included, and that is 4,760 for the whole thing. And if you can pay in like 12, even $399, I think it is, payments. If you even payments. And yeah, so but we do have the 20% off until the 10th. And yeah, so for those that want to pay upfront. Hope that answers the question. Okay, so this is the one from last winter. I haven't updated that one yet, and I'm not going to be teaching you how to go in there, but I just wanted to show you the manual here. So where's that? Let's see. Yeah, I can somehow doesn't come up. You don't have to go there, but the well, I did actually want to show you a little bit the let me see, just a second here. Here we go. And
We have another question, Esther.
yes.
Eddie has participated in a different program for food addiction, but it was mostly diet and weight mentality focused.
Yeah.
So it made the binges worse. He says, as I had failed, I planned again for another boot camp, and then the 1-year coaching. Currently, I have great success with the coaches trade by Bitten at the Sugar RX Global Village. Could I continue in this program? What other options do I have?
Let me just hold on this one while I find this thing that I'm trying to look at.
Perfect.
Yeah, thank you.
I can speak to it that if he wants to participate in the practicums, where the people who are taking the training are practicing on each other and on patients who are coming to get treatment, I'll put that link in. I will be participating in that as well.
Perfect.
Thank you, Cindy. I can't get the manual out here. Let me see. Here we go. Here we should get it, but oh, here we go. Okay, so let me see. Do you see the INFACT school manual come up?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, okay. So this is just an introduction here. Here's the table of contents. We go to, this is each chapter. We go to screening. Then we have reading material. We have screening tools. We have different kind of activities to do and turn in. And we have the INFACT agency screening form, which is something that everybody learns to do. as we go. And it is essential to do screening and assessing and the INFACT agency screening form. So in order to understand where your client is at or where you're at, if you're doing this for yourself. This self-study questions and answers here for the chapter and exercises to do. And then there's a task forum where you guys can send in your exercises. You can talk about your issues as you're working through the material in each chapter. What I'm adding on at this point is a pre-recorded lecture from me on each chapter, taking out the which you guys are supposed to listen to and to read, do the exercises, work on them together with a study group. We have a study group that comes together and works the exercises and issues together. Then you, as a group, bring those into the teaching session, which will be either on a Friday or Saturday. So the classes are, we keep it to the US Eastern time. So they will also always follow that time, and changes in times need to be adjusted to that time in the US. And so we start at 10 a.m. Eastern till 2 in the afternoon Eastern time. And as you get Zoom invites, they should be giving you the right time set for wherever you come from. So it's afternoon for the European people and early morning for the US people, and even earlier for the West Coast people. So we're trying to have it placed in a way that the most people can. So here's a chapter on intake. It's the same format. And orientation here, assessment.
Esther, we just received another question. Sarah wants to know, will you be providing clients for the work as available interns?
Well, we may have some that will be, but I've not really organized that as of yet. But what I usually suggest is that people practice with each other in the course. So students practice with each other, so that you do like screening and assessing with each other, and back and forth. And but there may also be some alumni participating in treatment 1 and 2 classes that might come into the student work and for assessment and all of that. But then also I suggest to students that they find clients, ask if they'd be willing to be sufferers of you studying and learning. And that would not be something that you would charge for, of course. And most of the students have had like 1 to 3 such people willing to do that work with them, and that is very beneficial. Very beneficial. Thank you for the question. So treatment planning and counseling, case management, all of this is really teaching the basic core function of what we need to know how to do when we go into being a professional in the addiction field. Then this is like the skeleton. This is like the skeleton of what we need to learn and become skilled in. But then the treatment itself needs to be worked under supervision, and as we go forward. I will talk more about that later. So I'm going to stop this one here. And I'm going to go into the faculty. Do you see the faculty now, or I need to?
Yes.
Yes, okay, thank you. Okay, so we have incredible faculty, and I have been so proud to present these people, and I've learned so much from each and every one of these people, and every time they open their mouths, I learn more for sure. So here's Mary Fushi. She is the founder of Acorn with her husband, Phil Riddell. She comes in with her incredible recovery story, and she comes in with that with the knowledge of a professional. Then we have Marty Lerner, the founder and CEO of Milestone in Recovery, eating disorder program in Florida. He kind of combines the knowledge of dealing with eating disorders versus the food addiction. And of course, much, much more. He has like a long session with us. Then we have Carla Osborne, who is an alumni of INFACT and an amazing registered counselor and trauma professional. And of course, certified as food addiction professional. And she has a lot of experience in working with trauma, with integrative family systems, and different ways. And she specialized herself in codependency. So she will be talking about trauma and codependency for us this winter. Then here is Dr. Goodorm, who is there somewhere, and he's a PhD in counseling and counselor education. He has devoted his last 30 years to teaching, educating, treating people with addictions, mostly in Scandinavia. Goodorm is a U.S. Norwegian person. As you can see, his name is not the easiest for many people. We're happy to have him, and you will love his listening to his 50 hours of big book, professionals applying the big book. Amazing work. Okay, here's Esther. I'm not going to spend too much time on me. I've already said a lot. I just want to say, maybe for me, I'm kind of the glue that holds this together. And I will be teaching the manual. I will be doing the treatment courses as well. And then the teachers come in with their phenomenal knowledge and lecturing. Now, here's my sister, Agnes Thora. She is going to be teaching at the treatment course about abstinent food and how to cook. And she is like the most incredible cook. You want to move to Iceland if you tasted her food. So she has actually been with me in my work through the years, and I love her dearly, and she's been such a support to this whole thing. Here we have Teresa Wright, and she is the founder and director of Renaissance Nutrition. She also have a website, sanefood.com. Please go on her website and check her and order her book, the newest nutrition diet, abstinence food book. She will have a great, guys will have a great day with Teresa, where she will go over how we can basically help people with abstinence and the varieties of abstinence and stuff like that. Very knowledgeable, as you can imagine. 40 years in the field, and the first and the real pioneer within the dietitian community. Here we have our star, Dr. Robert Lustig. And he will be there. He will be there in the podcast in, I can't remember when, probably July or something, or later, I'm not sure. But we'll have him this winter. Sometimes he comes in twice, depending on if he has time. And he really sweeps you of how do you say that? Sweeps you something. I can't remember. I met him in San Francisco. We had breakfast together, and he came to the APA conference as well, and is one of the most prominent scientists and in the world on metabolic science. He's an MD. Oh, here's my good friend Amanda Lee. She is the program director and counselor of SHIFT, recovery by Acorn. We've done a lot of work together, and in the winter, I promised her to come to Florida and do some work with her. You will notice that there's going to be 2 weekends where I won't be seen. There are other people going to be running the show, and that's when I'm going to be working with SHIFT. And we're going to be doing a week-long intensive, inpatient intensive, and a 3-day process group work together. Amanda is such a great, skilled counselor, addiction counselor. She comes from addiction counseling and developed into food addiction counseling, learned from Phil and Mary, and then bought Acorn, and it's called now SHIFT Recovery by Acorn. Please go to foodaddiction.com and look at her programs or their programs. So here is Dr. Vera Tarman, another good friend and colleague. She came to Iceland when I was starting to study what I was doing, and we've been really good friends ever since, and going alongside. She's really developed her name, and rightfully so, as a real spokesperson for food addiction. And she will be talking about the brain and also meds and the hormones in treatment. Then the newest addition is Susan Pierce Thompson. It's been such a pleasure to get to know Susan. We met again. We've met a couple of times. We met again in San Francisco as well. Her work is just amazing, and she has reached, like, I don't know, 400,000 people are on her post list or something. It's amazing what she has done, and I appreciate, even though she may do things a bit differently from me, I so appreciate her enthusiasm and passion for food addiction recovery in the world. So she's going to be with us. And here is our co-founder, Phil Wardell, and director of Acorn Professional Training Program, my teacher, my friend, and oh my God, he is such a precious person in my heart. We have him come in once or twice. We'll see how often he's had some medical issues, so we'll have to see how often we can get him in. But he will come in the beginning on the 9th, Saturday the 9th of September, and he and Mary and Vera will come in with lectures at that point, and then hopefully we'll get him again later on in the winter as well. We'll add him in. So here is another genius, Nicole Avena, and she is a serious scientist. She's been working in the science of the effect of sugar and processed foods on the brain for over 20 years now. And she just sent me the draft of her newest book, Sugarless. And it's really, really good as a learning tool for just anybody. She just has this special ability to explain the most complicated science in a layman's terms. So look out for her as well. She has a few books out. She is very concerned with mothers, young mothers, you know, while the children are still in the womb, what to do and how to raise children sugarless. And here we have Mary Fushi again. So we've gone through the carousel here, and I am going to stop this one. Okay. Okay, so I am going to go now to, this is the, oh my God, I need to go fast forward now. So this is the syllabus.
We're not seeing your screen, Esther.
Okay, thank you. Let me reshare. Thank you.
No problem. Now we are.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so. See here, focus. I'm going to put the focus on. Okay, so here we are. This is requirements, the subjects, the hours, which think for different things that we're doing. 70 hours doing the manual, 28 hours for the treatment module 1 or treatment 1, a little longer for the treatment 2, I guess. 10 hours for science, 4 hours preparation for practicing as a certified food addiction professional. That is sometimes after Christmas. We have a special session, and we often get alumni to come in and tell us about what they've been doing. 6 hours for ethics, which is, there's a strong emphasis on ethics. And we estimate about 20 hours of student group. Could be more, could be less, depending on the groups. And then there is a project presentation, and of course the times for those presentations depend on how many students are there. We've had like from about 14, 15 up to about 24, 5 students at one time. About 20 people is a very good number. We've had a little more and we dealt with it, but I don't try to have too many. So there is books that we ask people to get. Some will be online, like the manual, some food plan material from Teresa, Acorn, and INFACT. Denial and Treatment Outcomes by Phil. That's a book that will be available. Material on 12-step therapeutic approach from Guttorm Tauverud. A Guide to Eating Disorders Recovery by Marty Lerner. That's a download from his website. All of this will be coming up soon. Other books that I am recommended, among others, is The Addictive Personality, Food Junkies, Addictive Thinking by Abraham Tversky, The Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, Acorn, A Model for Recovery, Treating Food Addiction, Book 1 by Phil. That's a kind of a pamphlet, very nice book though. Food plans you should get from Acorn, Phil Verdel's food plan book. Inventorying food slips, absolutely. That's a really good tool. He also wrote the book Bariatric Surgery and Food Addiction. If you can get that one, I really recommend that as well. In preparation, here are some of those books. So here is what we go, what happens. It's, you know, what you get. It is like, I define each week and put it in colors and everything. It took quite a lot of work to do it so beautifully, and I am proud of it. So here's the times. Like for the first week, the assignments for first week is to send in assignments from chapter 1 and 2. And in the first session, it's we go over the agenda, the introductions, setting up student groups, introduction to the INFACT members platform, guidelines for Zoom, introduction to the manual and other material, setting getting things going. Then I will have a brief lecture on the history of addiction treatment and food addiction treatment. On the Saturday, we have the treat of Mary Fushi, Phil Verdel, and Vera Tarman. And so then we will be listening to those geniuses.
Esther, we have a couple of questions that just came in.
Okay.
The first one says, if I am new to starting a career in food addiction counseling, am I able to take this program first before getting other health professional education?
Yes, you are.
Perfect.
So
Go ahead.
so yeah, so is this what is in the question? Is it in the chat or the question and answers? I'm opening up.
It's in the chat. Kim
Okay.
wants to know that.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, so I just want to say a little bit about that. When you so this is going to be a different different people doing the course. Some may not have health or social education, and they can still do the course, but they are supported and trusted to not do work without supervision, proper food addiction supervision as they go forward. That would be having regular sessions in a group or with a private professional in the field. It could be anyone, really that has real knowledge and understanding of it. No, so you would be able to come and do the treatment. Some people have, no, I mean the course. Some people have done the course and gone on to get like a master's or bachelor and a master in addiction counseling, or in social or even some health sectors. So it has been something that supports them. Okay, so here is Edie. It's a question from Edie Herman. Yeah.
Yeah. Are any of these hours approved for CME or CEUs for clinicians? I am a registered dietitian.
Yes, they are. Like this is like 170-hour course. And so yes, these should apply to CEUs for sure.
Wonderful. And lastly, Kim wants to know if we pay the full price minus the 25%, including the code from today, is a total fee $3,500. I think Cindy just answered. Price with special 5% discount today is $3,663.20. So there we go.
It was a great question. I had to go try it out to see what the answer was.
Oh, thank you, Cindy. Thank you for the
Perfect.
question too. Okay, so am I missing any more?
I think we should be good. We're good with the questions till now.
Okay, good, thank you. Okay, so here we are. The syllabus is just taking us from week to week, what we need to, what are the assignments, what are the projects that we're going to be working on in the sessions. And so like in week 2 and week 3, we're concentrating on screening, orientation, assessment, and intake. The first 4 to 5 core chapters in the manual, and in doing so, we're preparing to all have been assessed in order for starting the treatment 1 course. So we will get a lecture from Nicola Vina here on the 29th. After her lecture, I will start introducing the treatment 1 course and prepare for it. And then we will have Saturday where we start the treatment course. So, and we'll do the weekend after as well. So we'll have like 3 days here. Then we will go back to Fridays on the manual work and the chapters there to keep going with those. And the Saturdays will be treatment. And let me see. Oh, this should be not yellow, actually, it should be. Then we have October Saturday. So we have Fridays on the manual and Saturdays on the treatment course until the end of October. Then we will have 2 weeks of Teresa Wright, Susan Pierce Thompson. They have whole days where they work with you. And we will have, I haven't talked about it to Guttorm, but there I had set him up there. Actually on the 10th, Marty Lerner will be there. So I need to negotiate with Guttorm if he can be like the Saturday, November 11th. So it's not been quite done. Then on the 17th and the 18th, I come back and we go into the manual and really fast forward to prepare for the exam. We'll get November 24th, Amanda and me. We go forward, and on the November 25th, we have Carla Osborne come in, and December 1st, Esther will prepare. We're going to be preparing for the exam, and I will talk about other addictions. And Vera Tarman will come in on meds and hormones. And you will get the final exam on the 2nd of December. I will talk about the ethics on that day. Then we meet. Oh, I may need to fix this a little bit up, but then we will meet a week after you get the open exam, and then we go over the exam together. It's a learning process, understanding why this is right and not, and this is not, and stuff like that. Multiple, cross examination. And
someone wants to know about the, sorry, Esther, someone wants to know about the special discount that we have today. Basically, if you stay till the end of the talk today and you sign up either today or tomorrow for the actual course, you get an additional 5% off the course.
Yes, that's it. On this December Saturday 9th, which is the last day before Christmas, we will have emphasis on the treatment, how people are doing and preparing for the next one that starts after Christmas. So basically after Christmas, fast forwarding, we're starting treatment 2 on the first weekend. And then I haven't set up in stone the agenda, except for the treatment on Saturdays for the remainder until the end of February, where what happens on the Fridays is all kinds of interesting stuff that will be announced later. And then, of course, the projects. That's one of the requirements to do a project and present it. And some of those session times here is going to be used for that. We estimate that we have that in the beginning of March. I'm not putting a date on it until I know how many people will be there for the course, to have the certification ceremony. We have it online. It's a really fun thing to do, and to honor the students, and some of the teachers come, and so it's a real celebration of having entered into this world of food addiction professionals. So any questions on the on this? Okay, so in the chat, any questions there that I haven't caught?
No, we've answered all questions so far.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so let me share screen again, and we'll go into the PowerPoints a little bit. Here we are. So just to talk a little bit about the skills that people will have, after the course, the skills criteria. So the students will, after this course, have the skill to diagnose addictions, food addiction specifically, set up a treatment plan, at least a basic plan or suggestions to, define treatment methods, understand the differences, set up a report on client treatment. And the report starts when we do the initial intake process with screening and assessing. And then we have process notes that we learn to do as we have the clients as we go, which is then when the client leaves and enters into the real world again, we will have gathered information that can also be used in record keeping for when and if a person comes back to treatment. And diagnose the need for special trauma consultation. This is also very important. Not everybody is going to be skilled to do trauma work, and I don't necessarily suggest to do deep trauma work in early recovery. But trauma will come up, emotions will come up, and we either need to know how to deal with it or be able to refer to people that can. Okay. Description and course assessment. The INFACT School focuses on different addictions, emphasizing food addiction as a substance use disorder. So we emphasize that addiction is addiction, and if we have one, we may have at least two others. And I remember my teacher in the addiction counseling degree that I took, that's what he said. Like, if you have one, you have at least two others, you know. And that has been so true. And so many will notice a lot of disorders as we go forward into, treatment with people. They will understand that other issues come. And quite often, if you stop using one substance, another substance wants to, starts being, wants to be noticed. So that, like a lot of people that stop drinking, they start smoking. When they stop smoking, they start eating, and so on and so forth. And so we learned the 12 core functions in addiction diagnosis and treatment and that is covered. We talk about continuing education and professional development. This is very important in this profession. Having community for professionals in the field is a serious matter and needs to be addressed. You cannot go alone in this, and you shouldn't. Treatment continuity is discussed with different kinds of treatments, which the counselor should know to be aware of. And students are introduced to different treatment methods, for example, motivational interviewing and problem-solving methods, for just to name a few. And course assessments, it's homework assignments, presentation, and the final test. And after the course, you should understand symptoms of addiction, the 12 core functions, the main criteria for those core functions. All of this is in the manual. Setting up a treatment plan for each client. It can be tricky for novices in the field to do this, but I think it gets pretty clear to most people what they can do, and that's what we do. We start at the level where we can, and then we develop into and learn more and more as we go. If and when we have a community, that is very helpful. Now, common treatment methods, treatment continuity, and treatment supervision. Treatment supervision is supervision, of course, is for everybody working in the field. We have supervision. That is a requirement, ethical requirement. And you can also be a supervisor for treatment and in treatment. Working with trauma and crises, keeping records of treatment. And all of these, I'm going to fast forward, connect the course material to treatment, read client status, to help correct direction in treatment, utilize treatment plans, find best treatment fit for each particular client, creative in treatment approaches, and all work with clients, keep a report, find ways to address trauma if needed, support clients in sustaining themselves after treatment or in an aftercare treatment, support clients in seeking their health and well-being through treatment and after treatment, consult with peers and supervisors on treatment approaches, consult clients and work with them in a democratic function on an equality basis. That's very important ethical issue. And respect clients' human rights as well as their loved ones. Work by personal data protection and ethical standards for counselors and general tolerance. So one of the requirements for completion is introducing a personal project. Needs to be 20 to 30 minutes with slides. Can be a research, it can be an overview of the things you've learned. It could be a treatment. Quite a few have actually set up a design for a treatment program that they would want to implement in their, through the whatever kind of background and work and strengths that they have. So just want to say a little bit about, we're running out of time here. again, I talked about the European Certification Board. They really supported us to get going in 2017 and have been a strong advocate for us and support the school ever since. And the certificate, it's not a licensing. It is a certificate that they issue for those that have completed the INFACT training. So that that is an indication of knowledge. It's appreciation of the knowledge that the INFACT school brings to the table. And having that and signing an ethics agreement to work under supervision, that is sufficient for you to get this European Certification Board certificate as a food addiction professional. And then, as I mentioned before, we had the Addiction Certification Board in USA. That is an add-on certificate for already licensed health and social professionals. And that is, I believe, I understand them right, that people around the world can apply for that as well, if they just show papers of licensing in their profession in their country. So that's another one that we can have. So what happens after certification? We work under supervision. We can, and we have been providing supervision group sessions as well as private sessions. And I think I'm gonna want to stop now the presentation. There's just a few slides here on breakthroughs and developments and stuff. Phil and the Food Addiction Institute, I mentioned them, and please go and check on also treatment outcomes. I'm working with Phil on getting his book out on treatment outcomes and surveys. And there's been not too much, but whatever has come out there is amazing. We have like 60 to like 70% success in the first year, 30% a long time, which is, I checked with the largest addiction program here in Iceland, and that's the same result. They have the same numbers basically. So it's and they have like detox center, they have inpatient treatment for a month to 3 months, and aftercare break, they have it all. And but we've not had the ability yet to provide our clients with the same kind of quality treatment. But obviously it's working, what we're doing. So I just want to go to, finish this. And so I'm open for questions to, until the end of the session here. Guttorm is there. And thank you, Guttorm, for being there. I can see that you're there in the chat. Any questions for me at this point? Seems like a lively chat here. There was a question from a Edie before. Did somebody answer her?
Yes, we did. We answered both of Edie's questions. Jessica just sent us a question. She says, do you know if the US certification is available to registered nurses? The website says advanced practice nurses and other related healthcare professional licenses. I did email them, but I haven't heard back.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of staff, so you need to wait a little bit for their reply, but they will reply to you and they will take you through and answer those questions. What I have understood from my work with them is that if you are a licensed health practitioner, nurse, doctor, social worker, psychiatrist, psychologist, you should be able to get this add-on certificate with them. I hope that that comes through for you, Jessica, for sure. New message.
Brenda wants to know if we are not a licensed health practitioner, then we can't get the US certificate.
Not as of yet, but the European one, don't underestimate that. That is, you can use that internationally. It is an indication. The European Certification Board is basically one under the ICNRC, which is the international umbrella for those organizations that issue certificates. And the US one, the New Jersey one, is the largest in the US, and they are really issuing licensings for addiction professionals. So they are more higher up in education and connection with, and there's a lot of requirements there. But we don't have this education. This is education on a university level. But we don't have it in a university as a degree as of yet. But hopefully that will happen in the next coming years. Who knows? We'll keep developing this so this can be a stronger and stronger profession for sure. Any other questions here? Okay, so, well, this has been fun. I didn't realize how time had flown away, and I got scared that I wouldn't be able to finish, and now I finished, and I'm kind of done.
No, and thank you, Esther, for that deep dive or that sneak peek into the INFACT school. I hope that sparked the interest of everyone who's interested in food addiction. And if you want to get started, if you're looking forward to exploring the food addiction professional training offered by the INFACT School, we invite you to visit the infactschool.com and check out our certification course. As we mentioned earlier, we are offering a special or an extra 5% discount to the existing 20% discount that we already had for everyone who stayed till the end. So that's all of you. So if you're interested in taking advantage of that, you have today and tomorrow to sign up.
Okay, thank you. I just remember one thing to say, which is that the treatment 1 and 2 will be open for alumni. I don't think there's a lot of alumni here now, but there have quite a few been interested in really plunging into and doing those courses, at least one of them, or even both. So for you that may be joining us, the treatment course may be larger, and I may need to divide that course to smaller groups and stuff like that. So if you want just to participate in treatment 1 and/or 2, then you can purchase that individually as well. So if you need more information on those, please let me know. I intentionally didn't put a lot of information on what happens there. I will basically issue that and put that out for the people that participate, but it is a treatment program for food addiction, and treatment 1 is for the beginners to understand the disease first and foremost, to get abstinent, to get help to get abstinent and get an abstinence plan. There's a lot of daily support. The group supports each other as we go forward with it. And then there are assignments and reading material to do as we go forward. And
Esther, I'm so sorry. We have a couple of questions. First
Okay.
of all, they want to know if the code that we provided on the chat for the additional 5% discount, it says, does this code provide the additional benefit if you've already paid in full?
yes. We would probably need to maybe refund or something. We need to there's like a couple of people that had paid in full. And if you want to do this, Cindy, you are the master of the WooCommerce. What do
Just send an email and we'll figure out how to do it. I did not anticipate that.
right? I hadn't thought of it either, but we'll find a way with that for sure.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And Kim wants to know how to contact you, Esther.
Oh, Esther, ESTHER @MFM or INFACTschool.com. Either do the Impact School. I think it's Esther Helga, one word with the, and you're missing the H in Esther @Impact School. And please do send emails to me. It's also to info@Impact School. And yeah, thank you, Cindy. So any of these, we will get it, the info. And if anybody wants to have schedule a session specifically with me, I do that and set up a time. And you just need to let me know what your time zone is and what your availability is, so that we can set up a schedule and schedule something. And please do. I'd love to hear from you, all of you. I hope this has been beneficial for you. And thank you, Gabriela Arcoa from South America, Costa Rica, and Cindy Solomon from Florida, and all of you from all over the world, I think. And I'm so excited to have you here tonight. Hope I will see some of you in the fall, or if not in the fall, maybe later. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Esther. This was a great webinar.
Thank you.